powerful machine. Pulley is a wheel on an axle or shaft that is designed to support the movement and change the direction of the cable. Pulley may be invented by Archimedes in ancient Circuit 250 BC. Pulley able to move a heavy object and carry a heavy object from down to up with less effort. It is made up of a rope or belt wrapped around the wheels. The wheels are attached to the brackets so that they can turn freely. We use pulley for many things in our daily life, such as crane, blind, flagpole, and escalator. This is a crane. We can see a fixed pulley on top of the crane. The ropes are wrapped around the wheel. The pulley helps us to lift up a heavy object such as cement, bricks, stone, and metal to build buildings. This is a blind. We can see a fixed pulley top of the blind. The chains are wrapped around the wheels. The pulley helps us to push up and push down the blind. The scientific concept of the experiment is when on end of the rope pulled downward, the load on another end of the rope will pull upward. The most commonly understood concept of the pulley is it is a simple machine that redirects force. Problem statement of the experiment is, does the arrangement of pulley affect the effort we use to lift up the load? Aim of the experiment is to investigate the relationship between the arrangement of pulley and the effort we needed to lift up the load.
The hypothesis for this experiment is, when the pulley are arranged in compound system, the effort needed to lift up the load will decreases. The variables for this experiment is number 1, manipulated variable arrangement of pulley. Number 2, responding variable, the effort needed to lift up the load. Number 3, control variable, the load 200 gram.
So, for this experiment, we used a beam that's made out of wood, and in this experiment there is 3 types of arrangement of pulley. That is fixed pulley, a pulley that is attached to a bar or beam, movable pulley, the pulley that moves freely up and down carrying the load. Third pulley system is compound pulley system. Compound pulley system uses 2 types of pulley, that is fixed pulley and movable pulley. Fixed pulley, movable pulley. Things needed for this experiment: pulley, spring balance, string, load, hook, and ring. Safety precaution for pulley experiment. First, we must wear gloves when we handle with a sharp object. Second, screw is a sharp object. Therefore, the end of the screw must be covered with glue stick. Third, to get an accurate result, we must switch off the fan because it will affect the result. Fourth, we must carefully handle the load because it is a heavy object. Procedures. Step 1. Handle load. Step 2. Have the spring balance. Step 3. Pull the spring balance until the lock corner. Step 4.
on the experiment just now, we have the results for it. So, in this experiment, to take the average reading, we plus all of the 5 reading in those 3 pulley systems and we divide it by 5 to get average reading. So now I'm going to tell you the readings, the average readings. So, for the fixed pulley system, the average reading was 1.8 Newton. For the movable pulley, it was 0.9 Newton. And lastly but not least, compound pulley system, which is 0.4 Newton. That are the average results.
Discussion. Based on the result, we found that we are using less effort in compound pulley compared to movable pulley and fixed pulley. This is because in compound pulley, we use combination of 2 pulleys. It is designed to make the effort less than half the weight of the load. Using compound pulley, the load will be much easier to lift up. The more pulleys that are attached, it will be more easier to lift up the load. Conclusion. From this experiment, we can conclude as the pulleys are arranged in compound system, the effort that we use to lift up the load will be decreased.
For this experiment, I have a few recommendations. First recommendation. For this experiment, we use arrangement of pulley as our manipulated variable. In future experiments, you can use sizes of pulley, numbers of pulley as your manipulated variable. Second recommendation. You can use digital spring balance in your future experiments to avoid human error and to get accurate results.
For this experiment, we did not spend any money because things that we needed for this experiment were all in our science lab.
Since school bags are heavy, students struggle to bring them up to the top floor or the second floor. So now we have invention to solve this problem. We can build a pulley system that carries back from down to up.